Salutations! Welcome back to my board. Today we're going to be learning number bases part 2. At the end of this number bases part 2 lesson, we'll be able to learn subtraction of number bases and multiplication of number bases. Let's get into this lesson.
Welcome to Don Taman, where we learn, think, and grow. Let's explore together.
So, let's move over to the subtraction of number bases. 11011 base 2 minus 101 base 2. This is simple subtraction of number bases. First of all, we're going to write our equation. 11011 base 2 minus 101 base 2. We draw a line. We add base 2 over here. Now we start doing the subtracting. 1 minus 1, 0. 1 minus 0, 1. 0 minus 1, it can't go. We have to borrow 1 from 1. So, borrowing 1 from 1 will give this number 0. And now, when we're having an equation like this, if we're having base 3 or base 4, if we're borrowing 1 when there's base 3, if we're borrowing 1 when there's base 4, if we're borrowing 1 when there's base 5, the 1 that we're borrowing from the number, the 1 will change to base 3, the 1 will change to 3, if it's base 4, the 1 will change to base 4, and if it's base 5, the 1 will change to base 5. Let's get back to our equation. Since this is base 2, we're going to bring out 2 here. 2 minus 1 is 1. 0 minus 0 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. Our answer is 10110 base 2. Now, let's move over to the second question. I'm going to explain it as if we are subtracting a different base with the same base. Let's move over to question 2. As it says here, 1341 base 5 minus 242 base 5. We write our 1341 base 5 over here, and we write our 242 base 5 over here. We put our minus symbol, we draw a line and put the base 5 over here. 1 minus 2, it can't go. We are going to borrow 1 from this 4. That will turn the 4 to 3. And as I said before, the number, the 1 we borrowed here, will turn to the base. And since the base is 5, we can put 5 here. This 5 plus this 1 here, that will be 6. Now, this 6 minus 2, 4. 4 is lesser than the base. That is why we can write it. 3 minus 4, it's not possible. We borrow 1 from this 3, turning this 3 to 2. And as I told you before, the base 5 is what I'm going to write here. So 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 is lesser than 5, so that's why we can write it. 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus nothing is 1. Our answer is 1044 base 5. Hope you understand. Now, let's move over to something a little bit more trickier. We have this question. 14 base 5 minus 10 base 6. Leave your answer in base 5. You can see both of their bases are different. So how do we solve this one? First of all, instead leave your answer in base 5. What do we do here? We turn both of these to base 10. We write what we are going to turn to base 10, which is 14 base 5 and 10 base 6. Let's solve for 14 base 5 first. 14 base 5, we start from 0, and we count backwards 1. So we write it down 1 times 5. What's on top of 1? 1 plus 4 times 5. What's on top of 4? 0. 1 times 5 exponential 1. 5 exponential 1 is still the same thing as 5. 1 times 5 plus 4 times 5 exponential 0 is the same thing as 1. Infinity raised to the power of 0 is 1. Any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. We write it down 4 times 1. 1 times 5, 5 plus 4 times 1, 4. 5 plus 4, 9 base 10. We have found 14 base 5. I have found the answer to be 9 base 10. Now that we know that 14 base 5 is 9 base 10, we can now solve 10 base 6. We write add 10 down 10 base 6. So we count backwards. We start from 0, 0, then 1. 1 times the base 6. What's on top of 1? 1 plus 0. The 0 times the base 6. What's on top of 0? 0. We get 1 times, as I told you before, 6 raised to the power of 1 is the same thing as 6. So we write it down. 1 times 6 plus 0 times, as I told you before, 6 exponential 0 is 1. Any number exponential 0 is 1. We write our 1 down. 1 times 6 is 6 plus 0 times 1 is 0. 6 plus 0 is 6 base 10. That is your answer. Now that we know 10 base 6 is equal to 6 base 10, we can now minus it. 9 base 10 minus 6 base 10. And I have told you before, any number base 10 is still the same number. So 9 base 10 is still 9. And 6 base 10 is still 6. So 9 minus 6. 3 base 10. But they said leave our answer in base 5. So we can't leave this 3 base 10 like this. We have to change it back to base 5. 3 base 10 to base 5. 3 base 10 to base 5. I have an easier method or trick that can solve this very easily. As we know, 3 is lesser than base 5. What do? We just write this 3 base 5. 6 is lesser than 5. That's our answer. 3 base 5. Whenever a number like this is lesser than the base, we just add the number and just add the new base. Our answer is 3 base 5. 14 base 5 minus 10 base 6. Answer left in base 5 is 3 base 5. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.